catch me if I fall.
A very good afternoon and welcome to the 2024 FA Cup Final on LFS. It's one of the biggest days of the English domestic football calendar, and for the first time in over 100 years, the same two teams will contend the FA Cup Final in successive years. Manchester City look to retain the trophy and win it for the third time under Pep Guardiola and played a league and cup double for the second consecutive year, making them the first to do so in English football history. Manchester United, according to reports, will be once again scouring the managerial market this summer, looking for a new head coach, with Erik ten Hag's time at Old Trafford seemingly coming to an end. Reports from The Guardian, released yesterday, stated that even a victory in the FA Cup final this afternoon would not be enough to stop the sacking of Erik ten Hag. The pride and bragging rights of Manchester are once again on the line. Manchester City are expectedly the favourites coming into this one, having won all of their last 9 league games to end the season to complete a historic 4th successive league title victory. According to some, Manchester United need a miracle to claim victory and lift the FA Cup this afternoon. The national anthem is being sung around Wembley Stadium as we build up to this 2024 FA Cup final. We'll be looking at the road to Wembley. Which of these two sides had the easier run? And some big games on the way through before we get team news. That's coming up next here in LFS. Welcome back to the FA Cup final here on LFS and the road to Wembley. Both sides getting to this point for the second successive season. I made that comment in my opening remarks about how this is the first time in over 100 years that the same two teams have competed in successive FA Cup finals. Man United will be hoping to get a bit of revenge from last season's defeat in the FA Cup final, losing 2-1 on the day. Ilkay Gundogan scoring both of Manchester City's goals either side of a Bruno Fernandes penalty. But City will look to do it back-to-back for the first time under Pep Guardiola, the FA Cup. Only the third time they will have won it if they win this afternoon under Guardiola's reign. But it would be the first time in English football that a side has done a league and cup double in successive seasons. Let's have a look at the roads to Wembley then. As you can see down the left-hand side of your screen, Manchester City's road to Wembley was pretty comfortable in the end, conceding just 2 goals in their 5 games in the run-up to this game. A 5-0 victory against Huddersfield in the third round at home. A 1-0 victory away at Tottenham, their first goal they'd scored under Pep Guardiola at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium at that point in round 4. A 6-2 victory away at Luton in round 5 had them cruising to the quarter-finals, where they faced Newcastle at the Etihad, where they won 2-0, before in the semi-final here they beat Chelsea by just 1-0 on that day. For Manchester United, their road to Wembley was a bit more on the road, shall we say. Only one home game in the run-up to the Wembley final. Wigan away to start it off with a 2-0 victory in round 3. A 4-2 victory against Newport in round 4. They went 2-2 in that game. A narrow 1-0 win away at Nottingham Forest in round 5 before an absolute cracker at Old Trafford in the quarter-finals against Liverpool on St. Patrick's Day. An incredible game that was. Extra time winner there in that one. 4-3 that Manchester United won before they almost threw it away in their last game at Wembley. In the semi-finals, they were 3-0 up against Coventry City before being pegged all the way back to 3-3. Coventry actually scored a fourth that was disallowed by VAR, and then it went to extra time and penalties, with Man United winning 4-2 on penalties on that occasion. So the road to Wembley has been written, but it's now down to do the business. Who will lift this glorious FA Cup trophy? Will Pep Guardiola's side do it for the third time, or will Erik ten Hag buy out with a trophy from Manchester United? Kick off in the 2024 FA Cup final. It's on the way next. Welcome back to team news now for this FA Cup final. An incredible team news, and let's have a look at Manchester City's team down the left-hand side of the screen there. Stefan Ortega starts in goal. No Edison out through injury. Kyle Walker captains the City side with a defence alongside John Stones, Nathan Ake and Josko Vardiol, who's hit a bit of goal-scoring form towards the end of the season, the Man City left-back. Rodri and Mateo Kovacic give that solidity in midfield, with Kevin De Bruyne offering that creative force. Bernardo Silva off the right, Phil Foden off the left. Phil Foden, who's been in incredible form, and PFA and Premier League EA Sports Player of the Season, deservedly so for Phil Foden. And Erling Haaland leading the line, the Premier League Golden Boot winner for the second successive season. On the bench for Manchester City this afternoon, Scott Carson, Ruben Dias, Manuel Akanji, Mateus Nunes, Rico Lewis, Oscar Bob, Jack Grealish, Jeremy Doku and Julian Alvarez. A very strong, very, very strong bench for Manchester City here this afternoon. For Manchester United, a bit of an injury boost for them coming into this one. No Casemiro in the squad whatsoever here this afternoon, but this is the team that starts for Manchester United this afternoon. Andre Onana in goal, Aaron Wan-Bissaka at right back, centre-back partnership of Rafael Varane and Lisandro Martinez, the first time that they've played with each other in quite a while, both coming back from injury, Varane and Martinez. Dalot at left back. In midfield is Kobbie Mainoo and Sofian Amrabat. Scott McTominay also in there somewhere with a front three or maybe a 2-2-2 of Rashford, Garnacho and Fernandes, we feel should be leading the line and captains the Manchester United side this afternoon. On the bench for Erik ten Hag's Red Devils, Bayindir, Johnny Evans, Willy Kambwala, Victor Lindelof, Anthony, Christian Eriksen, Mason Mount, Ahmad and Rasmus Højlund off the bench. Could he be an impact player and score a big goal in a big moment for Manchester United? They need it, and they need somewhat of a miracle to overcome this unstoppable Manchester City side. Pep Guardiola looking to do history once again. They created history being the first side in English football to get 4 successive league titles. They can do the first in English football history to do a league and cup double in successive seasons, and what a way it would be to win the FA Cup back-to-back, both times against your local rivals. Kick off in the 2024 FA Cup final is on the way in just a moment. Do stay with us. A very good afternoon. Welcome back to Wembley Stadium. We'll be here 3 times in the next 7 days for 3 different competitions, 3 different finals, and 3 different sets of matchups. Man City United today. We'll have Leeds Southampton here tomorrow for the Championship playoff final before next Saturday, the big one, the one that rounds off a league season and a domestic and club season, the Champions League final here next week, next Saturday night. Our referee this afternoon for this FA Cup final is Andy Madley, of course getting the call up this time round in this incredible stadium. An absolute monastery for football. The blue and red split, both on the pitch and off the pitch. Which side will be celebrating and bragging about another victory? Man City have won all of their last 3 against United, including a league double this season. Can United get their revenge in this FA Cup final to end their season on a relative high? 12 seconds it took for City to score the first time round. How long this time round? Or will Manchester United start much better this time and learn from their mistakes of last season? As one ball pumped up the middle, Haaland won the first header. It's well dealt with by McTominay, and Fernandes sends Rashford on the run, and Rashford through the middle. Rashford on the one-on-one, but great recovery by Kyle Walker to stop him in his tracks. Maybe Man City could have got a taste of their own medicine there. United were in very quickly. Kyle Walker, his recovery pace always seems to help Manchester City and get them out of trouble. Here's Haaland. Breaking through. Plays it off to Foden. Now round the corner to Vardiol. Vardiol across. Haaland was in the middle. He's battling with Martinez. He goes down. Crawls of a penalty. The referee has no interest whatsoever in that claim. But of course Michael Oliver, the VAR, will have a check. Just see this again. Vardiol's chip ball into the box, and Martinez makes a lazy jump for the ball, and it goes into the back of Erling Haaland. I think this might be a penalty, Not according to the VAR. A bit soft according to VAR Michael Oliver, so no penalty. But off to a very dramatic start in this FA Cup final. Goalmouth action in the early doors. That's what we like to see in these competitions and in these finals. Here at Wembley, a showpiece event for the season. Will be Manchester City and Manchester United's final game of the season. Man United will only get European football if they win here this afternoon. They'll qualify for the Europa League if they win. If not, elsewhere, and it's very complicated. If Manchester City win it, we will figure it out. But there's other teams that will get Europe, and we'll tell you about that as the information when we have it. As Amrabat fouling Kovacic there gives Manchester City the free kick just across the halfway line. Here's Bernardo Silva. They're also underway in the Scottish Cup final, which kicked off as well at 3 o'clock this afternoon between Celtic and Rangers at Hampden Park up in Scotland. And we'll keep you up to date with that one as and when anything happens at Hampden Park. John Stones. Out wide to Bernardo Silva, down the right-hand side. Back to Walker. Infield to Rodri, and it'll be all about Manchester City. We've seen it so many times, we talked about it so many times. It's about how Manchester City control this game, use the possession, use the ball, but it's about Man United staying compact, staying in control, and staying quite close to the players they need to mark. Last season they were not within any sort of yardage of them, and gave Man City the dream start to the final. It's all about them being more stifling, much more stubborn against this Manchester City attack this time round. Stones. City controlling the ball. Bernardo Silva. Walker was on the overlap. Comes back deeper. Kyle Walker. Across to Nathan Ake. Kovacic. Now Foden. Back Back to Mateo Kovacic. Goes back to Nathan Ake. Of course, Ruben Diaz on the bench this afternoon. Nathan Ake and John Stones, the preferred centre-backs for Pep Guardiola here this afternoon. Of course, Josko Vardiol keeps his place at left-back, of course, with that real goal-scoring prowess that he's reached in these last couple of games, the last few weeks of the season. We've talked about it multiple times about Manchester City, how big players step up in big moments, and when they need someone to score, there's always that one player that steps up. It's usually the likes of a Gundogan or a Rodri. It's been in the past, or other players in midfield. It seems to be Josko Vardiol's been this season's kind of main player at left back in the latter stages of the campaign, offering up his goal-scoring ability. Bernardo Silva across the back to Ake, was under pressure there. Dealt with it well. Fernandes and Garnacho were closing in, and Ake escaped it back to his keeper. Got out of danger pretty quickly there. Man United pressing quite high this moment. It seems like they've gone for a 4-2-3-1 out of possession, United. They can transition into a 4-2-2-2 in moments, but Bruno Fernandes leading the line, and then we've got McTominay in the 10, Rashford off the left and Garnacho off the right in terms of wingers. Mainu and Amrabat, this defensive midfielders at this moment in the back four. That seems to be the setup for Manchester United. Play it through the lines again. Really nice play by Manchester City. They're spinning these Man United players like a bottle top at this moment. Here's De Bruyne coming deeper to get on the ball. Despite Man City having dominated the possession, again we see that compact nature of Manchester United early doors. They're trying to keep the spaces through the middle very narrow, very tight, very closed down, not allowing those gaps for the through balls to Foden and De Bruyne and Haaland, of course. But it's all well and good trying that. It's about sustaining it for 90 minutes or more. That's the difficult part. It's Dalot under pressure here from Bernardo Silva. Mainu does well to keep the ball and keeps it in play and plays it off to McTominay. Bit of a short pass. Amrabat does well to step in. Varane. Lovely ball out to Wan-Bissaka down the right hand side. Good concentration, good control for Manchester United there. Could have panicked under pressure, but they stayed composed, stayed calm and played the ball out pretty comfortably there. Dalot through the lines, finds Kobbie Mainoo. Coming deeper was Fernandes. Out wide it goes to Wan-Bissaka. Down the line to Garnacho. Back to Fernandes. And now Amrabat. Bruno Fernandes. Man United, it's their opportunity to keep the ball. Build up a bit of possession, a bit of passing. Give each other a couple of touches. And try and get them up the pitch a bit more and out of their own half, which they've barely been out of in these first 7 minutes or so. As Varane has to go back to his keeper in Onana. Of course, we'll talk about the speculation and the drama and the reports about Erik ten Hag's future and what that actually means for Manchester United. As Onana fires it up long up the pitch, and Rashford had made the run in behind. Walker on the break. Walker gets back behind and blocks off Marcus Rashford on the run. Stones there was under a bit of pressure. And City will get the throw in there because it took a deflection off a United player. But nice idea. Onana with the ball over the top and Rashford made the run in behind. But again, that recovery pace of Kyle Walker. Many times we said it over the years about how Kyle Walker is so good at recovering from those positions. When you try and catch him out, he's got a recovery pace of a cheetah. It's unbelievable how quick he can get back into those positions and block off the forward. Win the ball back. Dalot. Lovely flick by Rashford. Dalot down the line. Finds McTominay in space. It's McTominay now lays it off to Fernandes. Out wide it comes to Garnacho. Garnacho with a shot and straight down the throat of Ortega. But that was much more fluid football from Manchester United. Really cute play down the left hand side. And McTominay found the gap. Found it to Fernandes and he spotted Garnacho wide on the right hand side. No one marking him. Got it to the edge of the box and Garnacho saw the space and decided to shoot. Really good football. Playing in between the lines, finding those quick passes, 1-2 touch football. Up in the tempo in the final third. Positive display there from Manchester United. Here's De Bruyne, that's a beautiful ball. Here's Phil Foden down the left-hand side, looking to measure it into Haaland. And Martinez had to get up and head it away, but only as far as Bernardo Silva. Back it comes. Dalot getting twisted and turned. Bernardo Silva chips it to the back post, and all the way through it goes. Foden at the back post, hits the side netting. Goodness me. Both managers have dressed up for the occasion today. Of course, not often we see the shirt and tie combo, either with Pep Guardiola or Erik ten Hag. Guardiola usually with the kind of jumper and trouser combo. Erik ten Hag usually with the open buttons shirt. Kind of cash, smart cash, but both gone very formal today. They know the importance of this final. Pep Guardiola actually in finals at Wembley, 8 wins out of 8. A 100% record. That's something that not many managers can boast from Wembley. 8 wins out of 8. That's a sensational record. There's another ball in behind. Rashford made that run again. Stones was quick to head it back to Ortega, but seems to be a real positive and a real target for Manchester United. That ball in behind for Rashford. It's 3 or 4 times it's happened in these first 10 minutes or so. They've tried to ping that ball in behind the City defence. Although majority of the time City have dealt with it pretty comfortably, as Vardiol forced the ball to Foden there and intercepted by Amrabat. He has to recycle the ball back to Varane, and Amrabat now goes back to Onana. It's a bit forced that from Vardiol. Had to just kind of thump it towards Phil Foden, and Foden just couldn't control it with the sheer pace on the ball, allowing Man United to step in and win the ball back. Mainoo's chest a bit overhit. Stones back to Kovacic now. Competitive first 10-11 minutes here at Wembley. Manchester United certainly a lot better of a showcase than what they delivered last season in the early moments against City. They were completely overrun. They went 1-0 down within 12 seconds. One of the quickest, if not the quickest goal in FA Cup history. You know, incredible. But they've started a lot better in this final. And the last time Manchester United conquered City in a cup match. I'll tell you about that in a moment, actually. This is a ball forward here for Kovacic. Down the line comes De Bruyne. Down the left. Garnacho tracking back, and the ball in is headed away by Varane and booted up the pitch by Martinez. That was lovely from the two United centre-backs to stop it in its tracks. But De Bruyne's ball again always seems to create a bit of concern in that box. The sheer power and delivery of it. It's just precision from Kevin De Bruyne. It's just sensational. But that time around, the United centre-backs had the better of it. As Varane under pressure, decides to knock it out for a throw for City as De Bruyne was in close proximity. Of course, Raphael Varane will be calling an end to his Manchester United career this afternoon. His final game in Man United red, of course, was announced that he would be leaving the club at the end of the season. Not even a week or so ago. Of course, Raphael Varane signed as a World Cup winner and has been injury ravaged at Manchester United. Really hasn't, bar his first season or so, really hit the ground running with a lot of consecutive games Oh, Nana. Trying to play it out from the back there, and luckily it had so much pace on it that Bernardo Silva couldn't take it down. It goes out for a United throw, but just a bit nervy there from Onana. Trying to force it. He probably could have knocked it long if he would have wanted to. De Bruyne brings it down. Haaland calling for a foul there on Phil Foden. And Andy Madley has given City the free kick, so I mean, Lisandro Martinez knew exactly what he was doing there. He knew what he was doing. He knew exactly what that was about. Free kick for Manchester City then. Kevin De Bruyne to take. Good distance out here, about 40 yards, I would say. A very high line from United. They're on the 24 yards. On the cut of the grass, it looks 24 yards on that line where they've set up their defensive line, so gone even higher than the edge of the box. And it is about 37, 38 yards maybe, the distance from goal for De Bruyne. He will whip it in. He'll not go for goal from here. Unlikely that. De Bruyne fizzes it into the box. Headed across by Varane, and it will roll its way out for a throw-in on the far side to Manchester City. The best that De Bruyne could probably do from that position, really. Best he could have done was put it into the mix and see where it could end up. Vardiol to take the throw. Down the left-hand side for City. Man United trying to flood that area as Kovacic wins another throw-in off the foot of Wan-Bissaka. In the Scottish Cup final, it's still Celtic 0, Rangers 0 in the early moments. 15 minutes or so gone in that one, so still no scoreline between the two teams in the Scottish Cup final. Very little to separate them, and very little to separate these two here at Wembley. As Dalot does well against Bernardo Silva, but knocks it up the pitch for no one to gather but Kyle Walker in City Blue. Kovacic. Rodri. To Kyle Walker. Down the right hand side comes Bernardo Silva up against Dalot again. Chops inside him. Still going Bernardo Silva. Squares it across to Foden. Foden tried to feed in the overlapping Vardiol, but overhit that pass. And again, another forced pass by City. Not really as fluid there as they could have been from that position. A pretty disappointing moment, that. City just overplaying it a bit at times. One or two occasions where they're just not kind of being as fluid as they could be. They've dominated the ball. They've had more of the ball. 64% possession for Manchester City in the first 17 minutes or so. United 36, of course, 36%. At the moment, they're not completely overrunning Manchester United in that format. They are having more of the ball, but that's expected. That was the expectancy coming into this. But being honest, it's more about how and where they have that percentage of the ball that's important for Pep Guardiola's team, and also how Manchester United kind of combat that and how they stop them from having the major possession in the big areas. At the moment, there's not been that big sucker punch from City. A real clear shot at goal. A clear opportunity will have caused the Manchester United defence real concern or issue. Here's Nathan Ake. Out wide it goes to Foden. Back infield to Kovacic. Foden to Josko Vardiol. Infield comes Rodri. Back to Kovacic. Look at the bodies, but Man United really compact in that midfield. So comes back out wide to Vardiol. Kovacic, De Bruyne, moving it quicker, City. Trying to find those little gaps in Manchester United, but so far, not many to be found. Been very aggressive off the ball, United. Here's Stones. Again, Rodri instantly pressed upon by Kobbie Mainoo. It comes back to Stones. And now Kovacic. Ake. Down the left it comes to Vardiol. Back to Ake. Many times have we said about City, they try and pass you to death is the key phrase, and they've passed themselves to death there because it's another overhit ball. And Vardiol just couldn't stretch for it, and it rolls out for a Manchester United throw. Another disappointing end to a long spell of Manchester City possession, but it will only create smiles on the faces of the United defenders at this moment in time, that City really haven't massively laid a glove on them defensively. Man United still have had the best chance of the game. That Garnacho shot was straight down the throat of Ortega, but it's the best opportunity at goal. That's a lovely link up between Rashford and Mainoo. And Mainoo does well to come off. And Fernandes with a ball in behind. That's a lovely ball, but Rashford's first touch lets him down. Oh, mistake at the back. City just get away with it. Goodness me, the two very casual in the back there, City. Almost gift United a goal. I'll see the replay and I'll explain it to you. But Rashford initially, heavy first touch. Walker just tries to square it across the box, and there's a United player in there. It's only giving United confidence. Ortega's messed it up again. And Ake had to fire it away, but United are gaining even more confidence. City look massively flawed at the back as Haaland comes flying forward. Taken out there by Diogo Dalot, and City will get the free kick. But initially, I mean, that phase of play was pure chaos. There's another player down further up the pitch. Walker was the problem. We'll just see that again, if I could see the replay of the United chance, because that was, I mean, calamitous at best for Manchester City. I mean, see this again. No, there's nothing in that. Looking for a penalty maybe there, that Fernandes and Kovacic, there's nothing in that. But it was just one of those long balls out to Rashford. Rashford, absolutely sensational pass by Bruno Fernandes. Rashford took a heavy touch, come off the chest of Walker, who took it down, tried to square it across his own 18-yard box, almost gave it to a Man United player in there. I couldn't quite see who it was. But a Man United player almost gifting them a goal. And then Ortega, literally 20 seconds later, tried to pass it 4 yards in front of him, and his teammate was marked. Luckily for City, it fell to Nathan Ake, who'd clear it away. But a couple of nervy moments inside their own 18-yard box there from Manchester City. Certainly not delivering confidence at the back. It's Bernardo Silva again oversteps the mark and loses the ball, and in frustration and trying to win the ball back, gives away a free kick. That will be a foul on Diogo Dalot. Will give Manchester United a free kick. But that will certainly give Man United confidence that City aren't as impenetrable as once thought. And their defence isn't watertight at this moment. Here's Garnacho. Comes in field to Mainoo. Now McTominay. Out wide it goes to Wan-Bissaka, and round the corner finds Garnacho on the right hand flank. Gets past Ake. Lost his footing there, Garnacho. And Ake did well to use his physicality and see it out for the goal kick. But again, playing in between the lines, United, give and go, and Garnacho initially played the ball off and made the run in behind, offered the option for Wan-Bissaka and tried to go round the outside of Ake, round the byline, and ended up running out of room and running out of footing, and ended up giving away the goal kick. 23.5 minutes gone, so over halfway through the first half at Wembley. Still goalless between the two Manchester rivals. Manchester Blue of Manchester City and Manchester Red of Manchester United. Nothing to separate the two teams just yet. Here's Bernardo Silva. Down the right hand side. Dalot in his wake. Has to go back to De Bruyne. Now Walker. All the way back to Stones. Kovacic played it quickly. Back to Stones. Back it comes out wide to Bernardo Silva. But again, no options. Time and time again, it's come out to Bernardo Silva on that right hand side. And there's not been a pass off him. That's a nice ball though across the midfield by Rodri. Out to Vardiol. Back to Ake though it comes. Struggling to get the ball into that final third at the moment in a more central area, Manchester City. And their players are having to come deeper. De Bruyne in moments. Foden's just come back there for a moment or two. Come a bit deeper to give it a couple of touches on the ball. Keep the ball moving. Here is Foden trying to create something ahead of him. Out wide to Bernardo Silva. Again closely marked by Dalot, but back it comes to Foden. That's nice work. Here's Kovacic, broke the line and gets it back across the box, but no one there for Manchester City to meet it. And Kobbie Mainoo controls it. Almost messes it up there. Wan-Bissaka clears it away. Up the pitch it goes, but that was better from City. Foden and Bernardo Silva linking up. And then through the lines to Kovacic, and he was waiting for the cut back. Got the cut back, and there was no one there to try and tap it in. Would have been a lovely team goal if it had gone in, but it lacked the final finish. That was really the first time that we've really seen Man City play in between the lines of the United defenders. And that's how threatening they can be. It takes just 1 second. In the space of a couple of seconds, you can find yourself comfortable pressing and closing down City players, and then the next moment you find yourself 1-0 down because they've created an unbelievable sequence of play from 5 passes and it ends up in the back of the net. That's why your concentration levels need to be at peak against Manchester City. Anything below 100% and you will surely be punished. In the moment United have stayed firm, stayed controlled and stayed compact as much as they possibly could, although Foden's made a nice run. Played back to De Bruyne. Again, well closed down. All the Man United defenders back. Rodri, though, chips it into the box. Haaland was threatening. Varane with a header clear. Then Fernandes. It's a low ball up. And now Rashford on the chase. Walker coming close, but Ortega was coming a lot quicker and gathered it much better. It was a nice idea by Bruno Fernandes. Played it low. Instead of hitting it long and high, tried to go low and make a run for Rashford, but Walker and Ortega had that one in control comfortably and dealt with it well. And of course, we spotted a bit earlier on before kick-off Gareth Southgate in the crowd this afternoon, the England manager. Of course, picked quite a number of the players here this afternoon in his England squad. His provisional England squad for Euro 2024 when they head to Germany in a few weeks' time. Kobbie Mainoo was one of those involvements. Of course, he's been a sensation in the Man United midfield, a struggling midfield all season, but he's been the main bright spark, probably the only bright spark in that Man United midfield this season. Kobbie Mainoo deservedly gets that call up to the England squad for this summer. Phil Foden, of course, was never going to not be called up. I mean, player of the season says it all itself, that, to be honest. Kyle Walker amongst them as well, getting call-ups. So, Gareth Southgate watching on here this afternoon to see a couple of his players in action. And of course, that isn't the final squad for Euro 2024. That 33-man, of course, has to get down to 26 player squad for the Euros, which is an increase of 3, of course. 26 player, usually it's 23 players, but 26 has it has been increased to. So he's in close proximity and watching on Gareth Southgate today. just seeing the first real opportunity for City in between the lines. Really nice by Bernardo Silva and Foden. It's too much of a gap. Squares it across to Silva. Someone should be closing that down. Foden finds a space in the edge of the box. Cuts it back. Plays a nice ball through the lines to Kovacic. And then Kovacic gets to the byline and look for the cutback. Plays the cutback into the box. And no one there but Kobbie Mainoo to clear it away for Manchester United. Poor pass there by Rodri. Amrabat to win it back for United. Dalot with a long diagonal over the top it goes. Garnacho on the chase. Garnacho battling there. Oh, the keeper's messed it up. And Garnacho with a tap in. The flag stays down and Garnacho latching upon the Manchester City mistake at the back. They've looked calamitous in moments, City. And Manchester United strike first in this FA Cup final. A mistake at the back undoes the Manchester City defence, and a tap-in of all tap-ins for Alejandro Garnacho. And VAR will of course check a look and make sure that onside is what is the case. But Man City, I mean, what have they done there? Again, that long diagonal. I said about how the long ball over the top has caused City some concerns early doors, and it's a long diagonal by Dalot. Garnacho's onside. Well onside. It was Stones playing him on the ball and behind, and then Vardiol decides to head it back to his keeper. His keeper comes to collect it. Miscommunication in the defence. Vardiol heads it over his keeper, and Garnacho follows it into an empty net to give Manchester United the lead. Fantastic. And we said it so far this afternoon. If Man United are going to get a goal, that threat has come from in behind, and one long ball in behind the defence of Manchester City has completely undone them. And Manchester City 0, Manchester United 1 in this FA Cup final. The red side strike first, and that is fabulous. An awful mistake at the back from City, but a gift that will be duly well taken by Manchester United. The composure and the compactness and the strength in the final third to deal with that situation, but also have the initiative to be in that position and to create that threat is fantastic from Garnacho. And clearly an idea from United coming into this one of wanting to play in behind. And here they go again. Rashford on the run again. Stones just got there ahead of him. Put it behind for the throw. United certainly on top at the moment. The better of the two sides. In the final third, they've been the better of the two teams in the early doors. City really struggling to break down this United defence. And how did we think that we would talk about that before kick-off? Although Garnacho tried to go for the long throw there, did United. Garnacho closed down. Back it comes to Wan-Bissaka on the right-hand side. As Garnacho goes back to Varane. Now Amrabat goes all the way back to Onana, who can reset for Manchester United. Pings it up the top again. Run of Dalot that time, but all the way through it goes to Stefan Ortega. What will this do to Manchester City? Will it ignite them? As it usually does. Or will it really crumble them? Unlikely the latter, really. The former much more expected. Of course, remember they did find themselves behind in the fixture at the Etihad earlier this season. Manchester City, Rashford with that sensational goal to give United the lead. And eventually it was turned round by a Phil Foden brace and an Erling Haaland goal to make it a 3-1 win for City on that day. So they know they can come from behind against United and have done so already this season to claim victory. So it's not the end of the world, but a moment they will desperately want to forget, although it's catching. Fernandes, fantastic to press there, finds Wan-Bissaka. Down the right it comes to Garnacho, looking for the runners. Garnacho's ball almost found McTominay there. Mainu was threatening but closed down. And now Bernardo Silva looks to carry it away for City. But he's handed the ball straight back to Manchester United. Rafael Varane now. Certainly on Manchester City like that. Giving the ball straight back to the opposition. Kobe Mainu. Wan-Bissaka. Down the line it comes to Garnacho. On the run again, but Vardiol brought down there by Garnacho. A bit of a pull on the shirt of Josko Vardiol. Sees a City free kick come the way. 11 minutes of the first half to go, and Manchester United lead here at Wembley against Manchester City. Alejandro Garnacho's goal, an open goal for him, an empty net for him to strike into. That's a fantastic challenge there, well committed by Lisandro Martinez. And that's the type of positivity, and that's the type of kind of commitment that the Man United fans want of their team. All the talk about how they've not committed enough this season, how they've not done enough in big moments and stepped up to the mark in the big games, United. Seemingly trying to buck the trend here this afternoon. Still early doors though. Here's Rodri. Down the right hand side. Bernardo Silva now. Up against Dalot again. Silva's not got much joy out of Dalot all afternoon so far. Rodri switching it out to Vardiol on the left. Wan-Bissaka out to Markham as he goes back to Ake. Now Kovacic. Looking for the forward options. Runs through himself. Haaland trying to flick it on. Martinez to clear it away. Stones. Heavy touch, but does deal with it and allows Kyle Walker onto the ball. Walker knocks it back to Stones. Rodri. To Walker. Well, of course, those moments can happen in games and can happen. One thing you do hope is they don't happen in the big moments, in the big games, on the big stage. And unfortunately for Manchester City, they have happened on the big stage. Josko Vardiol, I've waxed lyrical about him, as Bernardo Silva has a shot from distance, a long range one, straight down the throat of Onana. His first shot of the afternoon. Now from Bernardo Silva, just saw the space open up a slight bit and decided to shoot towards goal and did well. A simple enough catch for Onana to gather. But Josko Vardiol have waxed lyrical about how he's been stepped up to the mark for Manchester United or Manchester City. Here's Garnacho in behind again. Flag stayed down for the moment. He squares it across. Rashford! But the flag goes up. Just a hint of offside there from Garnacho. It looked like he had acres of space, but maybe just allowed the run too early. But again, that run in behind, those balls in behind over the top of Man City's defence. Say it again. Yeah, he is just too early there, Garnacho. Just by a yard or so offside. And this one will not count. You can certainly see where Man United are getting the joy out of Manchester City so far. Pep Guardiola is certainly not happy. I think he was in the ear of the fourth official there about there not being a flag early there. The rule does remain. The fourth officials are told, or the assistants are told, not to put the flag up if they think it's close. Only put the flag up if they think it's a blatant offside. Here's Rodri, find a gap of space, cuts it back for De Bruyne. Tried to shoot towards goal and a pretty tame shot. Allows Man United to get it away. Fernandes, round the corner to Mainu. Down the left-hand side is Rashford. He's got options. Looking for the run of Garnacho. Long diagonal. That's a sensational ball to Garnacho. Now, bodies flooding forward. Fernandez at the edge of the box. Kobe Mainu! That is incredible! That is absolutely immense from Manchester United. Delirium at Wembley. And Manchester City stunned again. Kobe Mainu to double Manchester United's lead in the FA Cup final. Pep Guardiola sips his water in disbelief. Manchester City run ragged. How many times have we said that? It's as rare can be. But that is sensational again for Manchester United. That long diagonal again. Garnacho unmarked on that side. Rashford with an absolutely scintillating ball. Taken down by Garnacho. And the body's flooding forward. City just far too casual. No one tracking back. The midfielders are nowhere to be seen. And Manchester United have the overload. Lovely bit of class from Fernandez. You think he's going to shoot. He just side-foots it across. And Kobe Mainu sends it back the other way into the bottom right corner. That is wonderful from Manchester United. Manchester City caught napping once again. And it's the same diagnosis time and time again in this game. Man United with those long diagonal balls in behind the Manchester City defence, and they have no way of combating at the moment. Stroke of genius. And Manchester United are 2-0 up in this Emirates FA Cup final. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. And this is so on Manchester City like, and some would argue so on Manchester United like this season. But if you can't get up for these games, you can't deliver in these games, do you really deserve to be playing football if you've not got the motivation and the desire to play at Wembley? As the ball comes across De Bruyne, Haaland couldn't get anywhere near it, and it goes behind for the goal kick. But wow. Wow. That's all you can really say there. Again, nice ball in behind there from Bernardo Silva. And De Bruyne broke into the box, got past his man and squared it into that, across the 6-yard box. But Haaland on his heels there. Couldn't get there. And Pep Guardiola will have a lot to do at half-time, because his side are certainly not playing anywhere near the level that we normally see of them. Manchester United are playing well out of their skin at this moment. And they're all over the place again. Poor pass by Stones. Here's Fernandez. Gets the break of the ball. Bruno Fernandez. Shot the block by Stones. No bounce out for a United throw. But again, that pressing from Manchester United. That aggressive nature off the ball. So impressive. Really forcing Manchester City to make uncharacteristic mistakes. Martinez. Back to Onana. Man City ended the domestic league season 9 wins in a row. They are unbeaten in 35 games in all competitions before this game, dating back to the defeat against Aston Villa at Villa Park back in December. They're unbeaten in almost 6 months. Over 6 months, actually. Incredible. But this could be coming to an end at the hands of their biggest rivals. And their local rivals. Man United are seeming to want to get the revenge. And they're certainly fighting for it at the moment. 2 minutes of the first half to go. City 0, United 2. Garnacho and Mainu the goal scorers. As United knock it up the pitch long there. Taking no risks. Taking no prisoners in that clearance. Walker. Now Kevin De Bruyne. Got past Rashford. De Bruyne closed down by Dalot. Trying to run through multiple bodies there, Kevin De Bruyne, but could not do it. McTominay, lovely touches. And a slight tug there by Kyle Walker, and it will be a free kick to Manchester United on foul on Scott McTominay there. Starting to play the dark arts. Well, we're seeing quite a few in Manchester United colours at Wembley. Sir Alex Ferguson, of course. The minority owner, Sir Jim Radcliffe. And, of course, one of the Glazer family as well here this afternoon. Popular figures at Manchester United. All the talk before kick-off, all the talk before yesterday even, about reports of Erik ten Hag being sacked and not continuing into next season as Man United manager. Well, this will be a question mark with his probably preferred centre-back partnership, although one of them is going at the end of the season. They've been a lot better, and they've played a lot better this afternoon, but it's all about consistency. But if they pick up 2 trophies in as many seasons, a League Cup trophy and an FA Cup trophy, for Man United at the moment, that's surely all they can do at this moment in time. That's a foul by Kobbie Mainoo on Kevin De Bruyne, and a yellow card's coming out here actually for Kobbie Mainoo. So Mainoo's been in the action, scored a goal, and he's going to get a yellow card for a late lunge on Kevin De Bruyne there. Comes through the back of De Bruyne. That's why the foul has been given against Kobbie Mainoo there, and a free kick has gone against him as well. A yellow card. 2 added minutes at the end of the first 45 here at Wembley in this FA Cup final. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. Kevin De Bruyne over this free kick for City. Both sides will be attacking their fans in the second half. Not literally attacking, they're attacking the end that their fans are in, if I rephrase that right. De Bruyne over this free kick, chips it into the box, it comes all the way through, and that is a very poor effort. Onana with a simple gather. Pretty sums up Man City's first half, really. Had more of the ball, but when they get into the final third, have really struggled to completely break open the Man United defence. The second worst defence for shots faced per game in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. Only Sheffield United have faced more shots per game this season in Europe's top 5 leagues than Manchester United. But so far, they're playing like a team that doesn't know what they've come up against this season or what the criticism has been this season for them. It's almost like they're playing this game on nothing else. Everything else has gone out the window, and they're fighting to the very death here. That's a lovely challenge by Fernandes. It gets an applause from the United fans. That should carry them to the half-time. And there it is. The half-time whistle from referee Andy Madley. And a first half to remember and not to forget for Manchester United. But it's anything but memorable for the right reasons for Manchester City. A mistake at the back between Ortega and Vardiol to gift United the opener before a beautiful team goal finished off by Kobbie Mainoo doubled United's lead. Half-time in the Emirates FA Cup Final 2024. It's Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. Welcome back to the 2024 FA Cup final here on LFS this Saturday afternoon, and what a first half it was at Wembley here for this Emirates FA Cup final. Manchester United leading Manchester City by 2-0, and we're going to get into the deep depths of that first half. We're going to talk about the stats, we're also going to talk about the 2 goals, and we're going to talk over generally how both sides have performed in that first 45, because it's been quite depressing from a Manchester City point of view. Who would have thought we'd be saying that at half-time? But there you go, the joy and the drama of the Emirates FA Cup always delivers for us. We're going to talk about the goals first, because, I mean, absolutely sensational. The first goal, I mean, it's calamitous. It is laughable at best for Manchester City. I mean, the defending was woeful. I mean, I've talked about it and I've reiterated time and time again in that first half about how City's high line has been kind of calamitous in moments, and how Man United have combated that is that long diagonal in behind, those runners in behind. We saw it early with Rashford. More towards the end of the half, it was more Garnacho that was making those runs. But from the very first minute, the ball over the top, Rashford made the run in behind, and City were almost caught out inside the first minute. So it's not that it came as a surprise to them, or it didn't happen often enough in that first half. It was quite clear what Man United were trying to do in those early moments. Go long, go direct, but also try and pin those balls in behind. Test the City defence. Get them facing their own goal, run them back towards their own goal. And time again, Manchester United have been finding a bit of joy in those areas. The first goal comes from that moment. One ball in behind, I think it was Fernandes, over the top. Garnacho made the run in behind. Garnacho just runs through, ends up getting closed down. In the end, the ball comes to Vardiol, and Vardiol just has to head it back to his keeper. He ends up in a bit of a muddle. The keeper comes for it. Vardiol wants to head it back to his keeper. He actually heads it over his keeper, and and then Garnacho follows in for 1-0. I mean, we'll just see it again. The long diagonal. Garnacho making the run, and Vardiol gets back, tries to head it back to his keeper, but the keeper's coming to collect it. Complete miscommunication in the defence for Manchester City there. And then Garnacho does the rest and rolls into an empty net. Never scored a simpler goal in his life. But it's really poor from City. But it's one individual error, one moment and one mistake. And, you know, we can talk about it. Big moments, big mistakes. Big things can really change games. And that goal really got Man United going. Even before that, before they'd scored, they found gaps, they were finding the spaces, and they were getting joy against the City defence. I mean, Kyle Walker's had to make a couple of recovery runs. There's been a bit of scrambling in the City box in early moments as well, leading to that mistake. That mistake really kind of compounds it, and it just gets worse and worse towards the end of the half from City. The second goal, I mean, it's just pure glorious for Manchester United. But again, that similar diagnosis from Manchester City. That high line, the long ball in behind, the failure to deal with the situation from the long ball. The long diagonal, sensational from Rashford, switches it right across. Garnacho again, not marked on that side, has space and time. And then the City midfielders, nowhere to be seen, tracking back. I mean, Rodri's nowhere to be seen. Kovacic nowhere to be seen. De Bruyne nowhere to be seen. Tracking back. And United just have the overload. They're 4-on-3 in the end. Fernandes knows he's got his man wide in Mainu. He's got Wan-Bissaka alongside him. Garnacho just squares it across to Fernandes. Fernandes then chips it across to Mainu. Feeds it across, and Mainu at the back post. Squares it back and strikes it into the far right corner. Really good football. Really nice combinations. Really good team goal. But again, City, similar diagnosis. Not dealing with the first ball in behind. And then the runners, no one tracking the runners for Manchester United. And the midfielders far too casual, far too slow, and just nowhere to be seen defensively on that front. But again, for Manchester City, it's simple. It's a simple thing to sort out. Stop the long ball. Either at source, or when you get it in, when it goes in behind, make sure that no one from a Man United kind of persuasion can get on the ball. It's one of two options they have. Stop it at source, stop those long balls being played, don't give Man United players enough time and space to create those and measure those balls, or when the ball does go in behind, you drop a yard off, kind of take a bit of stock, or even step up a yard and play them offside time and time again. That's a very risky proposal. But those long balls in behind are really causing Man City threat, and they need to figure out a way of combating it, because at the moment, Man United are running them ragged in those areas. From a Manchester City point of view, up front, I mean, it's not much better going forward. I mean, Haaland's barely been involved in the game at all. De Bruyne has really struggled. Foden's really struggled to get in real flow of the game. Bernardo Silva's probably been the most threatening of the front four for City, and it's mainly because he's just been getting the ball on the right flank. The one real moment from that first half for City was Bernardo Silva on the right flank, squared it across to Foden. Foden found a bit of a gap at the edge of the 18-yard box, played it through for the run of Kovacic. He got to the byline, looking for the cut back, no one there to meet it. But that was positive, one of the positive moments for City in that first half, where they found that bit of combination in between the lines. They find that space in the middle. That's where they've struggled. That's where City do so well. They find that central space. I mean, we talk about Rodri and De Bruyne and Foden, and even at times Bernardo Silva coming in field. They find the gaps in the central areas to really carve you open and tear you to bits. But Manchester United, credit to them, not only in attack they've been fantastic, but defensively they've been compact, they've been solid, they've been closed down really well, they've stayed well within yardage of their markers, who they've needed to mark and who they've needed to follow and what they've needed to do, stayed controlled and stayed as a team. And that's really crucial. They've pressed as a team, they've tracked back as a team, they've got into shape and closed down areas really well, and they've done the individual moments. They've won their individual battles, they've won their individual duels, both aerially and on the ground. They've committed fouls when they've needed to, a few cynical fouls here and there, not often, but when needed. It's pretty much a masterclass from Manchester United in this first half, a fantastic first half. But again, and I will reiterate it and I will say it, City will come out and play a lot better in that second half. They cannot play any worse than what they did in that first half. But it's about Man United staying in control, staying compact, and staying very solid at the back. If they keep the doors shut, they will always have opportunities up front. But as long as they try and keep the doors shut, they've got the 2-goal lead, they've been in a similar position before in the semi-final, and they let it slip. They'll learn from that. They'll grow from that. But what they need to do here now, against a much more difficult opposition, is stay in control and stay doing what they did off the ball in that first half. Off the ball, they were sensational. I mean, City had more of the ball in that first half. 74% possession City had in that first half. But out of possession, Manchester United were so controlled, so focused on the task at hand, and were absolutely excellent at stopping Manchester City finding those balls in behind. Incredible. Right, the second half from Wembley in the 2024 FA Cup final is on the way in just a few moments. Don't forget, Euro 2024 is coming up in a few weeks' time. 20 days' time, of course. But tomorrow, much more potent final to come for you. The Championship playoff final between Leeds and Southampton tomorrow, 3 o'clock here on LFS, to see who will be joining Leicester and Ipswich in the Premier League next season. That's tomorrow at 3 o'clock from Wembley, and then the Champions League final next Saturday, of course. The second half from Wembley, where City are trailing 2-0 to Manchester United in the 2024 FA Cup final. It's on the way next. Welcome back to the Emirates FA Cup 2024 FA Cup final. Leeds United take on Southampton tomorrow in the 2024 Championship Playoff final. That's tomorrow, 3 o'clock, live here on LFS for you at the moment. So we'll watch that tomorrow, as we're just watching what's going on in Monaco in the Formula 1, and Charles Leclerc in his home race takes pole position for the 250th time for Ferrari in their history, and another pole position for Charles Leclerc, his third in Monaco, and will he convert it into a win tomorrow? We'll keep an eye on that for you tomorrow. There we go. So that's the big headline. In the Scottish Cup final, it's still Celtic 0, Rangers 0 at half-time. Nothing to separate the two sides from that first half. But at Hampden Park, of course, Celtic pipped Rangers to the Scottish Premiership title this season. It's incredible from Celtic there, but at the moment it is still goalless in the Scottish Cup final. Very little to separate the two sides. Both had 3 shots in that first half. 2 on target for Celtic, 1 on target for Rangers. Very little between the two sides. Extra time and penalties could be necessary at Hampden. Here at Wembley, though, it doesn't look likely that will be the case. Although, there's still a long way to go, and anything can still happen, as both sets of players returning to the field of play for the second half then. And City making changes, so as expected, really. Let's be honest, I don't think we expected City to come out in the second half and make absolutely nothing of a change from the first half. They were pretty lacklustre from that first 45, City. And they do need something different to offer something different for them in this second half. And Jeremy Doku will try and be that difference. Mateo Kovacic losing his place for Doku. So Doku on, Kovacic off. As both sets of teams will be attacking the end which their fans reside inside Wembley for the second half, and hoping to carry them through. Manchester United in the second half said he can only play can't play any worse than they did in that first half. Manchester City, it's all about Manchester United staying in control, staying compact, and staying secured at the back. It's it's easier said than done, really, to be honest, in terms of that. It's not as easy as you might think. And of course, a long way to go in this FA Cup final. 2 goals is very achievable for Manchester City here in this second half. They scored 3 against United in one half of football in the game at the Etihad earlier this season. They scored 3 against Manchester United on both occasions this season, at Old Trafford and at the Etihad. So they'll feel that they can do it again, and 3 would be enough to win it if they don't concede again. That's a lovely bit of work from Dalot to step in there. Takes it down the left-hand side. Dalot breaks forward for Manchester United. He's got bodies with him. Can't find anyone, but Mainu, though, will recover it. And Amrabat keeps Man United in possession. That's good work from United there to not falter possession. In between the lines, Mainu. Bit short in his pass there, Kobbie Mainu. Not often we see him making that mistake in the middle. Well, Manchester City's unbeaten run, I mentioned it in the first half, 35 games unbeaten. That was a optimistic one there from Rodri, because he spotted Onana off his line, and Pep Guardiola's given him a death stare there, because he tried to catch the keeper off his line and fires it well over the bar for a goal kick. As I was saying then, City's 35 game unbeaten run coming into this one is the second longest run by a top flight club in English football history. Only Nottingham Forest run of 40 games unbeaten in 1978 is longer than City's unbeaten run here at this moment in time. Martinez, long ball forward. Rashford made the runner behind it. Heavy first touch, does well to carry it back to the safe hands of Stefan Ortega, but another good opportunity for Manchester United. That long ball again. almost finding the foot of Marcus Rashford there, and almost giving them a bit of a sucker punch to start the half there for United. All the stats go against United into this one, but football isn't played on paper, and it's certainly not played with stats at the forefront. It's about who performs on the day, who delivers on the day, and who scores the goals. It's as simple as that. There's a long way to go for the stats to break through and come to the top again. Here's Bernardo Silva, trying to force it through the lines, but again loses the ball. Here's McTominay for United, carries it down the left-hand side, look for options, close down, as Dalot has to go back to... it was gone back to Dalot in defence there. Onana chips it out, finds the space for Wan-Bissaka against Doku, of course. Garnacho to Amrabat in a bit of a triangle, just got out of that one, did Sofian Amrabat there, and Varane helped out, but now Amrabat back on the ball. It's better for Manchester United, trying to keep the possession. Oh, Onana giving it, tried to show too much there to Erling Haaland, almost got caught out from it, but Wan-Bissaka does well linking up with Bruno Fernandes. Fernandes eyeing up the long pass, goes for the short one to Mainu, squares it across. Fernandes gets it back to Wan-Bissaka, through the lines for Garnacho, and now Mainu down the right, feeds it in behind. Look at this run, just overhit to Fernandes. Fernandes does well, trying to play it through for Rashford, closed down. But again, this wonderful bit of play from Manchester United, again in between the lines. And I mean, I really don't know what City are doing. Again, they play the high line, but get caught out once again. Bruno Fernandes, once again the architect. He finds that run, fantastically weighted down the right hand side by Kobbie Mainoo, but it's Garnacho really that makes the deeper run deeper, allows Fernandes to run back the other way, which kind of confuses the City defence into wondering who they need to pick up, and in the end Manchester United get a result out of it and get a bit of a free kick here in a good area. Very central this. Fernandes is over it, some distance, quite a distance, lobs it forward, and that's an awful pass by Fernandes though. Garnacho was waiting for it and he got nowhere near it, as though they won it back well by Amrabat. Now Wan-Bissaka breaking through, tried to play it out wide to Garnacho, but just overhit that one did Aaron Wan-Bissaka. City get the throw. Down the line it goes to Doku, rides the challenge of Amrabat. Doku looking for bodies, but he's got no one anywhere near him, has to go all the way back to to Manuel Akanji, who's come on at half time as well, by the way. Here's Rodri, down the left hand side is Doku. Look at the many United bodies in the box there, 6 of them, nice 7. City come down the right hand side with Bernardo Silva, left foot across into the box. Haaland well marshalled there by Martinez. Back it comes to Akanji, out wide to Doku. City trying to sustain the pressure. Doku now out to Vardiol, across to Stones. Again, United closing down the space as well. Stones has no gaps to try and exploit as De Bruyne does force the ball through the lines, but again runs out of room and runs into more United bodies as the ball forced all the way through and out for a goal kick to Manchester United. Again, really good track and really good compactness from Man United again in those central areas. City are again, time and time again just trying to force their way through, but the resilient and combating Man United defence is holding firm and standing strong at the moment. And those City fans, certainly not the most vocal fans inside the Wembley Stadium here this afternoon. The United fans in full voice, of course, with their side in firm control at this moment of the tie. Here's McTominay, and now United fly forward again. Look at the bodies. Here's Garnacho down the right hand side. He's got Rashford across. Can he find him? Garnacho cuts it back. McTominay goes down. Still alive. Fernandes trying to find a gap, but again the City bodies close it down and get it away. There was a hint of maybe a penalty on McTominay there, but the referee had decided to play on, and Wan-Bissaka there involved in a challenge on Doku. Said he get the free kick, but nothing else coming. We'll just see the replay of this. Rodri round the corner of McTominay. It's not much in that, to be honest. He does make contact, Rodri, but it's not a foul on McTominay. Kind of Scott McTominay feels the contact and goes down a bit easy, but it's not a penalty. Here's Rodri. Haaland has to come a bit deeper. Take a touch there. Back to Rodri. Out wide it goes to Doku. Up against Wan-Bissaka. Squares it back across to Foden. Foden trying to, again, feed it through the lines, but Amrabat blocking that one off. Back to Vardiol it comes, and now down the line to Doku. Doku squares it across. Foden was in the box, but couldn't make any clean contact on it. It rolled all the way towards Onana, who will gather for United. But again, up in the tempo, City. They find a bit of a gap in the box there, and Doku, who's got the majority of the possession, surely, at the start of this second half. And they're finding those gaps, but at the moment, Foden couldn't find that definitive touch on the ball. He scored 2 wonderful goals against West Ham last week on the final day of the Premier League. Here comes Foden again. Down the line comes Doku. Doku into the box he comes. Squares it across. Now Haaland! Off the underside of the crossbar and out. And Garnacho rescues it to safety. Haaland with one of his first attacking threats of the afternoon. Hits the underside of the crossbar. They're getting closer. Here's Rodri. Back to Stones. Round to the right hand side is Bernardo Silva. Up against Dalot. Back to Stones it comes. Foden. Out wide it goes to Doku on the left hand side. Said he's starting to commit a few more bodies as Doku gets past his man. And ends up giving away a corner. Does Wan-Bissaka in tracking back. Took a slight deflection off Wan-Bissaka as he recovered back to deny Doku any more than hitting the side netting. Will be a City corner. Left hand side. 10 minutes gone in the second half. City still trail by 2-0. De Bruyne with a corner. Right footed. Whipped in. Back post. Onana scrambles it to safety and Amrabat clears it away. Walker. Straight back it comes though from City. Vardiol. Now Bernardo Silva. Down the line to De Bruyne. De Bruyne with a reverse cross and all the way through it goes and out for a goal kick. Out the other end. They're starting to find those spaces, City. They're starting to create those better chances. And Erling Haaland's best opportunity of the afternoon. Hitting the underside of the crossbar. Absolutely raptures the crossbar, that shot. As they're going to make another change here, City. Julian Alvarez is coming on. And Kevin De Bruyne is coming off. So De Bruyne off and Alvarez on. So an extra striker for City. In between the lines as they're trying to force it a bit more now. They need to be more aggressive and they need to continue with the momentum that they've created at the start of this second half to really try and find a goal to get themselves back into this final. Walker. Back to Manuel Akanji. Of course, who came on for Nathan Ake at half-time. Lovely ball in between the lines. Here's Alvarez making a threat in behind. And it's actually come back off Julian Alvarez, the Argentinian. And it will be a goal kick. Wanted a corner there. Did the World Cup winner. De Bruyne seemed out of puff there when we got the footage of him on the bench. Just come off there, Kevin De Bruyne. Kanji with a header from the goal kick. Brought down by Wan-Bissaka, but Amrabat plays it straight into Rodri's path. Carries it forward. Now Doku down the left-hand side. Lots of United bodies back, but City trying to flood them forward. Doku eats the space, finds Alvarez. Now Stones out to Bernardo Silva. Into the box comes City as Stones chips it across. And all the way through, it will find its way to Rodri on the left-hand side. Back it comes, cross comes in. Away by Dallo, not fully cleared as Fernandez tries to get United on the front foot, but Stones does well with his header. Oh, a bit of mistake there as Garnacho one-on-one now. Almost find the gap. Vardiol recovered it well, but again, a poor back pass almost allowed Garnacho in. Here comes City. Once more, Rodri. The United defence holding firm at the moment. Doku tried to cut inside and take the shot, but blocked again easily by United as Amrabat now forces it long. But it's one-way traffic at the moment. City piling on the pressure, starting to find those spaces and trying with their utmost best to try and conjure up a goal against this Man United defence who have looked solid and well structured so far in this game. Doku down the left, Wan-Bissaka against him. Back it comes to Vardiol, squared across to Walker. Walker will hit one from distance and has to force Onana into the save. But that was lovely from Kyle Walker, and that can really switch up a game. Just switching up the shots, changing the angle of it, asking a different question. And Kyle Walker with a straight strike right at Onana forces the save of the United keeper as they take the corner short now. City. Silva. Alvarez. Doku now. As he almost runs out of room there. Doku does get the pass off. Vardiol. Walker. Curls it round the corner. Finds Bernardo Silva down the right. Up against Fernandez, who stepped in for the moment. Back it comes to Alvarez. Cross comes in. Wan-Bissaka with a header. Half clears it. Rodri gets it back into the box. Feeds it back in. All the way through. And the header behind by Varane for the corner. And Rafael Varane took no risks there as they take the corner short again, City, and take it quickly. Alvarez gets a second shot at it over the bar. Much more urgency about City now. Who's taking those short corners and they're trying to catch United out the edge of the box. Alvarez found the gap again. Tried to run it in to find the pass in. Blocked off, and then the loose ball comes back to Alvarez and he fires it over the bar. The shot from Walker is a wonderful save by Onana. Left hand, strong left hand. Parries it wide, a full stretch there. That's fantastic goalkeeping. And Onana's qualities questioned this season about how good a goalkeeper is he. Well, big saves like that certainly go in your favour as a goalkeeper and add to your quality and your reputation. Well, City in that first half had 3 shots. Inside 16 minutes of the second half, they've already had 6 shots, Manchester City. In 3 times, in 2/3 of less time, I finally got that out, they've had double the amount of shots. They are firing and desperate for a goal back. Dennis in the chat says, let's do this, Man United, and Manchester, don't be complacent. Complacency is certainly not the watchword for United here, because here's Fernandez. Finds McTominay in a gap of space. McTominay has the shot. Easily blocked. Calls Van Ball, but there's nothing in that. As United's attack comes to a pretty quick close. We have a goal at Hampden Park in the Scottish Cup final. Celtic 0, Rangers 1 at Hampden. Abdallah Sima with the goal to give Rangers the lead in the Scottish Cup final from a corner. Not dealt with by Celtic. And it finds its way into the back of the net. Just over-battled physically in that corner. And Abdallah Sima at the back post. Goes in off his knee there. And Celtic find themselves behind the Scottish Cup final. Here's Doku for Manchester City. Down the left, plays it on, but plays it too far ahead of Julian Alvarez or Phil Foden there. And that one will run for a United goal kick. Well, Glasgow, the blue side of Glasgow certainly enjoying the better of it in the Scottish Cup final. The blue side of Manchester certainly not enjoying this FA Cup final here at the moment. With United still 2-0 up. Still a long way to go in this second half. Still another 27 minutes plus additional time to go. There's maybe a check here in Scotland. VAR checking something. I don't know what they're checking, but they're checking something. We'll get back to you. I'll update you on that as and when. Rodri finds Phil Foden through the lines. That's a lovely run. Here's Julian Alvarez. Just gone wide. Another big moment. But another one missed by Manchester City. And that's a glorious opportunity. Lovely in between the lines. First time we've really seen them go central. Rodri to Foden, and Foden find the run of Alvarez in behind, and Alvarez just has to find the far netting, and he side foots it with his left boot. Onana committed. He just has to find the far corner, and he just strikes it narrowly wide of that left post. Such a good opportunity for Julian Alvarez, but an opportunity gone a-begging. We do have an update from Scotland in the Scottish Cup final. VAR have had their intervention, and the goal of Rangers has been disallowed. So it is back to goalless. Celtic 0, Rangers 0 in the Scottish Cup final. I have no idea what for, but what I do know is that VAR have ruled it out for something. I'm guessing a foul on the goalkeeper, maybe? I have no idea. McTominay there, heads it down, brought down by Rashford on the spin, plays it forward to Dalot. Dalot down the left hand side. The next goal is crucial. Dalot with a shot, just gone wide of the left post. Eyed it up there, Diogo Dalot, but not too far away from a shot on target there. Dalot just narrowly wide of the left post, broke past Walker, tried to find it, and actually from the other angle, from the reverse angle, he's quite a distance away from goal there in the end. Ramino says, we'll fight till the end. And Dennis says, come on Manchester United, wake up. At the moment, it is City on the attack. They're the more threatening of the two teams at the moment, but we expected this in this second half. I said it at half time. City will not play any worse, and cannot play any worse in that first half, and they played much better. They've created a lot more opportunities, find the gaps, find the spaces, but at the moment, not found the clinical edge just yet, which is crucial. Here's Jeremy Doku. Back to Vardiol. Now Stones with a shot, but that one better kind of left unshot. That was not a good attempt at all from John Stones. Well over the bar. And that's another positive for Manchester United, really. They're forcing City to change the way they do things. They're forcing them to make those longer range shots. They're switching things up, which is really, at this moment in time, frustrating Manchester City even more. There's one or two Man United players warming up there on the sidelines. Rasmus Højlund is readying. Not coming on, but he's certainly warming up on the sidelines. Johnny Evans alongside him as well. United still committed. As Doku does get the break of the ball. That's good challenge by Wan-Bissaka. And Amrabat there to clean it all up and sweep up the mess of a bit. As Varane does well. Back to his keeper Onana under pressure from Haaland. Onana goes long. Up the pitch. Garnacho tried to make the run, but closed down well by City as Foden caught in possession again. And Amrabat battling. McTominay, Amrabat now round the corner to Fernandes. Out in the right hand side is Garnacho. He's got Rashford with him. Here's Garnacho. Goes himself and tried to find the near post. And Ortega got a cross and put it out for the corner. Had to go himself there, Garnacho. There was no options. I mean, Rashford and Dalot were up there, but there was no clear kind of path for the pass to go, and had to go himself, Garnacho, and gets Man United the corner. Their first shot of the second half, or one of their first shots of the second half. I think it might be their first shot on target of the second half. Anyway, corner incoming then from United. Fernandes to whip it in. Fizzed across, right-footed, back post. Over the head of Varane, who was drifting in. There's Bernardo Silva there. Challenged by Rashford, and Silva had the last, or Rashford had the last touch. Apologies. And it will be a throw into Manchester City. Bernardo Silva and Johnny Evans in a bit of a collision there. Off the pitch. Evans not happy. But we play on. Vardiol. Back to Akanji as Fernandes on the press. Ooh. Oh my goodness me. Akanji played it back to Ortega, but Fernandes was on the press. It was a very risky ball, but did work out for City in the end as Haaland beats off the challenge of Amrabat. Back to Bernardo Silva. Back it comes to Akanji. Doku. Down the left-hand side. Wan-Bissaka closely marking him. Back it comes to Vardiol. Now Foden round the corner to Rodri. Rodri's ball in the box. Foden went down, but nothing in that. And Onana will gather for Manchester United. Ramino says, Man City, you can't lose this. You're dominating. Well, they're dominating the possession as they did in the first half. 74% of possession in the first half, 67 in the second. And they've had 8 shots in the second half, Manchester City. But only one of them on target. They've hit the woodwork once and shot off target 6 out of 8 times in the second half. So a lack of clinical edge is what is letting City down at this moment in time. It's a lovely stretch from Wan-Bissaka to win the ball back. It's good work there. As Varane clears it long. There's a runner for Rashford here. He's being held on to by Walker, and Walker does get the better of Rashford. Rashford wanted a foul, but Kyle Walker just strong defensively and gets it back to his keeper. Still that threat in behind from United. City need to be wary of that as well. They can commit bodies forward, but they need to be wary of a possible counter if they do lose the possession. A bit of a gap there for Alvarez to break forward. It finds Doku down the left. Here's Jeremy Doku. Gets closer and closer. Can't find the net and goes all the way across. And Bernardo Silva couldn't rescue it. But again, another good moment for Manchester City. There's a player down here for United in the box. It's Martinez. Might be a bit of cramp for him. Of course, Varane and Martinez both back from injury, so not expected to do the full 90 or even further than that here this afternoon, and maybe a change incoming. That's probably why we saw Johnny Evans warming up on the sidelines. Might be entering the fray momentarily. It will be a City corner, by the way, once we get back and going. Very shortly. Still Celtic 0, Rangers 0 in the Scottish Cup final. 22 minutes to go in that one, plus additional time, and then maybe added time, or maybe extra time and penalties maybe needed at Hampden Park to separate the two sides. At the moment, separating these two is a Garnacho tap-in and a wonderful team goal finished off by Kobbie Mainoo from Manchester United, which has them 2-0 up here. Both goals. I mean, the second goal is absolutely sensational. It's a beautiful team goal, but really, mistakes by City. Simple mistakes by City. And United are going to pull the trigger and make a couple of changes. Double substitution incoming. Martinez is going to be one of those changes, and Johnny Evans is going to come on in his place. And the second of which is going to be Rasmus Højlund coming on. Walker and Martinez there. Bit of a clash. Walker getting at Martinez for going off a bit slow, but oh, it's gone a bit, it's boiled over a bit there. Kyle Walker's lost his cool there, and he's still going at Martinez. Still going at each other. And there's just, I mean, that I can see why Kyle Walker's frustrated, but you can't lose your shit there. You have to stay calm. You're the captain. You need to stay calm. The referee's clued up on this. They're not going to allow time to dissipate for these types of things. They will stop the watch. They'll add it on at the end if needs be. So, Johnny Evans on, Lisandro Martinez off, and Rasmus Højlund is coming on, and he's going to be replacing Marcus Rashford. So Rashford and Martinez off, and Evans and Højlund on for Manchester United. So maybe Fernandes will drop into the three of the attack. Højlund will be the centrepiece. McTominay will come centrally in that 10 role still. Garnacho stay wide, and Fernandes probably drop to the left, maybe, of an attack, or maybe to the right, and Garnacho swaps to the left. We'll see. Corner for City then, right-hand side. Bodies in the box. First defending for Johnny Evans to do of the game. Andy Madley's whistle goes. City with a corner, right-hand side, a win-in swinging corner. Left-footed, in it comes, and headed away by Dalot. And out for another one. Opposing side, though, this time. These are big moments for Manchester United. The clock is certainly against City in these late moments, but you can see it here, and it'll be a barrage towards the final whistle. Alvarez to take the corner, left-hand side, another in-swinger to the back post, all the way through. Haaland went down. Menu the battle, but all the way through it goes, and out for a goal kick. And City, certainly not happy. They wanted a penalty there, but there's nothing in that. Haaland and Menu both battling in the box. I mean, we've seen it countless times from corners. Yeah, 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, really. Fantastic defending by Menu, to be honest. It's not a foul, not a penalty. Nothing in that for me. And Pep Guardiola, I think he's reaching for that one. He's a bit optimistic. Or a bit kind of hopeful more than anything, but there's nothing in that. VAR Michael Oliver agrees. No penalty. 15 minutes to go. A quarter of an hour. More than enough time for games to change. We've seen it so many times this season. The final 15 minutes are crucial. As crucial as the previous 75. But one thing that is certainly against Manchester City, they're 2-0 down heading into this period. They're going to come back from this. It will be one of the best FA Cup comebacks in a final in recent history. Here's Doku. Back to Vardiol. Now Rodri. Gets a prick of the ball. Finds it past Højlund. Down the left to Stones. Now it comes to Doku. So he's closed down there by Amrabat and Wan-Bissaka, and Doku has to rescue it back to Alvarez. Now Akanji. Walker with the shots. Saved, and McTominay there to carry it away. And Onana with a strong right hand. I think the offside flag was going to go up actually. Yeah, it did go up. In the end, good save by Onana. Strong right hand. Already saved one against Kyle Walker, and Walker has a go again. But Haaland was in an offside position when the shot was taken, and then he ends up pressing McTominay out. So it is a free kick for offside from Haaland, impacting the play there. And the offside gives Man United a free kick, which Onana will kick long. Bounces out. Down the line, Fernandes taken down, but the referee sees no foul in it, and will just give City the throw-in on that right-hand side. Dennis says, ETH, we need fresh legs. Man United brought on some fresh legs there, indeed, Dennis. So Ten Hag certainly responding to your call of some fresh legs in the side. Højlund and Evans on. Here's Jeremy Doku, though, getting the brick of the ball. Amrabat shoving with a shoulder, but the referee's actually given a free kick, and Amrabat's not happy. I thought it was just a shoulder-to-shoulder collision, but the referee felt it was a foul. See it again, Doku and Amrabat coming across. Yeah, they go shoulder-to-shoulder there. It's not a foul. It's a bit soft, that, to be honest. But a free kick nonetheless for Manchester City. And Amrabat needs to watch himself. Can't be too critical of the referee. Might end up in the book. Dennis has one more Manchester goal, and we have it. Well, no, they don't need another goal. I mean, another goal, a third goal for Man United would absolutely dead this game, and it would be over. But it's not the end just yet for City. Foden and Alvarez in and around this, and this is the type of moment. This is kind of a must, at least a must shot on target at the very minimum. Can't be anything less than a shot on target. This free kick. Walker's joined Foden and Alvarez over this free kick. I would guess Foden is the more likely to take it, but Alvarez is there as well if needs be. Probably suits the left footer more than the right footer from that angle, but we'll see what they'll do here. City, the wall from United set up. City ready. Foden with a shot, hits the wall, bounces back out, back down to Alvarez. Tries to spread it wide, but Wan-Bissaka was quick and tried to play it down the line, cut out by Vardiol. Fantastic anticipation from Aaron Wan-Bissaka, stepping in and getting ahead of his man to win the ball back. Fantastic play. And it's those minimal moments that really help with defence. Just to take the pressure off for more than 10 seconds, for 30 seconds or so, just to allow you to get a bit of a breather, to recoup, to go again and to build again. As Garnacho's ball in behind, Højlund battling here and being held, Rasmus Højlund, and getting the free kick, Rasmus Højlund off Manuel Akanji. That's fantastic centre forward play from Rasmus Højlund, and Akanji, the one penalised. Yeah, he's just holding Højlund back there. It is a foul. Got a hold of his right arm and pulling him back. It is a free kick. Chance for United here. From a decent distance. It's about 20 yards out. It's very wide on the right, so it'll be some goal if they score direct from this, but I think it might just be a cross into the box. City have set up their wall in case they do go for it directly. Fernandes and Garnacho around it. Fernandes eyeing it up, surely. Free kick for United here. Towards their own fans. Bruno Fernandes goes for goal. Straight at the keeper. Straight down the throat of Ortega. Didn't catch out the City goalkeeper there. And it's kind of one of those ones where you don't know whether to cross it or whether to strike it, because you want to try and catch the keeper out, and it's actually the keeper that gets the better of it in the end. 10 minutes to go in this FA Cup final. Manchester City 0, Manchester United 2. Garnacho and Mainu the goal scorers. Here's Rodri, into the box it comes. Couldn't stay with Phil Foden as Amrabat clears. Walker recycled. Back out wide it comes to Doku. Switch to the right hand side now. Doku tries to cross it. And cleared away by Johnny Evans and out for the corner. Foden to take this corner. For Manchester City, it's getting to do or die territory now. Left foot across into the box it comes. Strong hand again from Onana to see it out. Out it comes to the left. Alvarez brings it down. Whips it back into the box, and Onana couldn't catch it. Has to try and parry it away. But United doing well to get it away. And that's fantastic from Mainu. And now Garnacho breaking forward. And gets the throw in off Kyle Walker. And that's again really good play from United. Stepping out, closing down and getting the ball up the pitch as quickly as they can and as far away from their goal as possible. Really, really kind of experienced play. Fantastic. United fans enjoying the sunshine. Bathing in the Wembley sunshine. And a European place and a trophy is on the line late in the day. Manchester United finished 8th. The only way they can get into Europe next season is winning this trophy. And it looks realistic now as the ball comes in from Fernandes. And it was a deflection. Actually, it's an offside from Johnny Evans, which ends up giving City the free kick. Sir Alex Ferguson closely keeping an eye on that watch, praying for those minutes and those seconds to tick to your finish. Six and a half minutes plus additional time, and City have absolutely pinged that one up front, straight the way through to Onana. Pretty wasteful opportunity that, or waste of an opportunity, as it probably has been all afternoon for Manchester City. They've just not ended their opportunities anywhere near well enough. And Man United clinical in their moments and devastating in that first half. The damage seemingly was done in the first 45. Dalot to take this throw in down the left hand side for United, trying to keep it as far away from their goal as possible. It's not quite go to the corner flag time just yet, but we're not too far away from that. Stefan Ortega knocks it long. Menu battling. Menu doesn't win the header. Dalot does. Amrabat brings it down and gets it back to Rafael Varane, who goes back to Onana. Clears it long. Does Onana. Højlund trying to make a nuisance of himself as Rodri tries to flick it on, but Amrabat brings it down for United in the middle. Have to say, Sofian Amrabat and Kobbie Mainoo in that midfield for United today have been absolutely sensational. Winning the ball back and just recycling possession time and time again, winning those first and second balls. It's been really impressive in that midfield. The outlet of Fernandes and Garnacho have got Man United out of trouble and got them up the pitch and into good areas time and time again. I think the best pass of the afternoon is Marcus Rashford's long diagonal ball out to Garnacho on that right hand side. As Amrabat there just shoving Phil Foden off the ball there. Gives United City a free kick. And a fantastic announcement there. The attendance here this afternoon, 84,814 is the official Wembley attendance for this FA Cup final. Wonderful outpouring of support in this FA Cup final. Wow. City take the free kick short. Doku down the left hand side, looking to find a ball in the box. Low cross. Away by Evans. Still alive here. Doku. Right-footed shot. Finds the corner. It sneaks in. And Manchester City maybe not dead just yet. A strike of hope and life in the citizens yet. And Onana just allows it to sneak in at the near post. And could this be the beginning of a Manchester City comeback? It's not got much cheering. Doku gets the yard of space, gets past Garnacho, and from the edge of the box tries to find the bottom left corner, and it just bobbles its way in, and Onana tries to parry it wide but ends up parrying it into the back of his own net. Unfortunate. He's made some big saves today, Onana, but this, if City do come back, will be the moment that will be remembered. Head in hands moment for Erik ten Hag, who knows his side will be under extreme pressure now. Manchester City 1, Manchester United 2, with minimal amount of moments remaining. A grandstand finish could be on the cards here at Wembley. Two and a half minutes plus additional time. And maybe, just maybe, the momentum has swung for Manchester City. That moment, that slice of luck could give them an opening. Here's Doku, breaking forward, down the left again, turning inside out, falling to Foden. Oh, and they scramble it away there again, United. But the City fans jeering their side on. Here's Doku again, and United need to show character here. Doku breaks free again, bit of a bobbling, and Garnacho clears it away. Garnacho brings it down again. Tries to get it forward, but runs out of room. Couldn't find Højlund. And a late barrage for Manchester City surely incoming. It's about Man United's character in these late stages. They've been well accustomed to conceding late goals this season. In the big moments, in the biggest game of the season, can they hold on? Rodri. Round the corner to Doku. Jeremy Doku's been the real outlet for City in this second half as Foden's ball cleared away by McTominay. All the way back it comes to Walker. And they will push again, City. Ortega goes forward, finds Vardiol. Look at the space on the right hand side there for Alvarez, but Bernardo Silva takes it down. Now Rodri. So it comes to Akanji. Now out to Alvarez on the right. Back across to Rodri. Switches out to the left, finds Doku, takes it down nicely. Wan-Bissaka closely following. Doku plays it across to Vardiol. Now across to Akanji. Akanji with a shot over the bar. Too high and far too heavy of a ball and a shot there. But City still pushing. Lay it on. Their persistence. Maybe not. Could bear fruits. Yellow card coming there to one of the City coaching staff, whatever that's about. No idea what that's all about, but there we are. Added time at the end of the 90 has been confirmed, and 7 added minutes is the definitive number. 7 minutes for United to hold on. 7 minutes for City to get another to take us to extra time. It is on a knife edge. This Manchester FA Cup final, surely all but done. But one sneaky goal from Jeremy Doku just maybe puts the result into doubt once more. And that's fantastic from Manchester United. Try and win a corner up there. Garnacho actually thought he'd won the corner, but in the end the decision goes against Garnacho, and United are going to make changes. Not just yet though. He's actually offside there, Garnacho, apologies. So he did win the corner, but he was just offside, which is the disappointing factor of that one for United. Here's Stones. 6 minutes to go. Out wide to Doku. Left hand side. Jeremy Doku. Garnacho and Wan-Bissaka with him. Doku tries to break past his man and will get a corner out of it, Doku. Wan-Bissaka with the last touch. Alvarez in a hurry. Gets over quickly to get set up for this corner. Right-footed in swinger to come. Whips it into the box. Back post, and comfortable hands there from Andre Onana to gather. And just eke out a few more seconds. Eke out a bit more time. And Man United are going to try and do even more of that because they're going to make changes soon. In a moment or two, Victor Lindelof and Mason Mount waiting on the sidelines to be entering the fray to try and get Man United over the line. Character of this side will be tested more than ever before in these last 5 minutes of this FA Cup final. They have victory in their grasp. Can they maintain hold of it, or will they throw it away? Substitutions incoming then. Scott McTominay's going to make way, and Alejandro Garnacho's going to make way. So Garnacho and McTominay coming off, and Victor Lindelof and Mason Mount coming on. So a double substitution there from Manchester United. Garnacho, who scored the first goal, and McTominay, who's been very crucial all day in that midfield, is coming off as well. Garnacho, who was heavily involved in both goals for United today, was actually involved in the build-up. He played the ball to Fernandes. He had the pre-assist. He played the ball to Fernandes, and then Fernandes played to Mainu, and Mainu scored. The pre-assist, as they're called now. The assist before the assist. Here's Doku, turning players inside out. Alvarez, no space, and now Mainu tries to lead Man United's charge on the counter. And here's Rasmus Højlund, trying to keep them up the pitch. Not going to the corner flag just yet there, Højlunds. As Amrabat under pressure goes back to Wan-Bissaka. That's fantastic from Mainu initially there. Just carry Man United forward, get them up the pitch, get them as far away from their goal as possible. Half of the 7 added minutes are up. Half of them to go. United still holding on to this lead as they try and spot the keeper off his line, and Bruno Fernandes heading wide. We have a goal at Hampden Park. Rangers thought they'd taken the lead early in the game. VAR intervened and ruled it out. But Celtic have responded. Could it be a late winner from Adam Ida, the Republic of Ireland international, in the 90th minute? Could seal victory in the Scottish Cup final for Celtic. Wonderful moments there. 7 minutes to go in that one of the 8 added at Hampden Park. Here, just 2.5 minutes remain. City running out of time. Excuse me. Running out of time for a late equaliser that would send Wembley into delirium. Here's Doku, who's been the star for City of the second half. Across to Vardiol, now Akanji, out to Walker. Now down the right hand side, Bernardo Silva, bodies in the box for City. Can they find one of them? Silva's cross, well blocked there at the back by Fernandes. Back to Akanji, it comes, 2 minutes to go. Time is really running out now. It's do or die, now or never. Last chance saloon for Manchester City. As Bernardo Silva looks for the cross. Blocked again. And Rodri will shield that, or Stone, sorry, will shield that one, but it will be no good. Goal kick to Manchester United. Head and hands from both sets of fans. City fans can't believe it. Could they be beaten for the first time in 36 games? For the first time in a Wembley final under Pep Guardiola, could they be beaten? Manchester United fans can't contain themselves at how big this moment could be. Beating their rivals in a final. And denying City history once again. City win this final. They'll be the first side in English football history to do the League and Cup double back-to-back seasons. United denying them at this moment. Less than a minute to go. Here's Rodri coming forward, giving City maybe just one last hope. Here's Doku. Has to get it into the box here. Doku chips it to the back post. Haaland over his head. Still recycled. Falls to Kyle Walker, blocked. Haaland and Mainu with a clearance to hoof it up the pitch. As Højlund chases all the way back, and Rasmus Højlund wins it back, and he keeps Man United up the pitch, and City have bodies flooding back, but City have them, or United had them forward, and they're going to win a free kick here. United even better as they fall to the floor, but it's not the end just yet. There's a free kick for United, and in the moment they thought they'd won it there, but the final whistle hasn't gone just yet. Fantastic from Rasmus Højlund. Get inside up the pitch. Keep them in their opposition's half. And the announcement, the player of the match has been announced. Kobbie Mainoo has been given that reward. It is literal seconds to go. Time has certainly seemingly run out. This free kick gets taken. The final whistle will follow. And there it is! Manchester United have done it! They have beaten Manchester City in the FA Cup final. Pep Guardiola's league and cup double dream is dashed at Wembley under the Wembley sunshine. Manchester United have done it. They crashed into a 2-goal lead in the first half. City gave all they got in the second. A sneaky goal late on created a grandstand finish, but not to be for Manchester City. For the first time in 36 games, Manchester City are beaten. The second longest unbeaten run in English football history is done. City's season ends in defeat. They might have lifted the league last week, but that will be their only trophy this season. Not too bad. But Manchester United, back-to-back cup finishes and cup victories under Erik ten Hag. It may be his last involvement for Manchester United as manager, and he may end on a high. Raphael Varane ends on a high. Played an immense game at the back for United here this afternoon to secure victory. Manchester United are the 2024 FA Cup winners, and how good they were today. Incredible. Manchester City gave as good as they got in the second half, but wasn't to be today. Missed chances after missed chances. But Manchester United's clinical edge and smart prowess in the first half, they done Manchester City an absolute disservice in that first half. They made them look amateur at best with that defensive line, and they made as much out of it as they could. And that ends up being the crucial moment, the crucial moments in this game that delivers the FA Cup back to Old Trafford. Incredible for Manchester United. A wonderful performance, capped off with a trophy, and they deserve it by far. City were nowhere near their best today, far from good enough on the day to secure victory, and Manchester United will lift this trophy for the 13th time in their history. 13 FA Cups. Only Arsenal have won it more times than Manchester United. Incredible. Incredible. In the 21st FA Cup final, they win once again. And Manchester United's history is undoubted. But this club will always retain trophies, will always lift a bit of silverware. That's one thing that Erik ten Hag has in his locker and in his bank, that he can say he's, in 2 seasons with Manchester United, delivered cup glory in back-to-back seasons. Something that is rare as can be for Manchester United in recent years. Something that is an unbeknownst possibility, an unbeknownst feeling at Manchester United, in recent years. A dull and desperate period it has been recently for them. But they cap off possibly the final game under Erik ten Hag with a victory. Goal scorers Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo have delivered on the day for Manchester United. City got a late goal from Jeremy Doku, but it wasn't enough on the day. Incredible. Wembley always delivers an unbelievable game. And in the end, Manchester United are victorious. Manchester United are the 2024 FA Cup champions. Congratulations. And from Wembley, have a very good afternoon. We're back same time tomorrow. Join us then. But for now, soak that in, Manchester United fans. Your club are going to lift the FA Cup once again. Good afternoon. Bye-bye. Welcome back. Thank you very much for continuing to join us here on this historic day at Wembley once again, FA Cup final day. And once again, Manchester United will lift this glorious trophy for the 13th time after 2-1 victory over Manchester City. Incredible result this afternoon. Also in Scotland for you as well. Celtic have done the job. Once again, they finish with victory in their season in the Scottish FA Cup final. Celtic, the winners there. Adam Ida with a 90th minute winner to secure it for the green and white. The Hoops in Scotland. Glasgow is green once again. Not a surprise, as Joe Hart buying out there. A couple of players buying out here, of course, for Manchester United. Raphael Varane. His final game in a Manchester United shirt ends in victory and ends with a trophy coming his way. We're going to, of course, take you right through to the trophy lift. Of course, in a few moments, is still celebrating on the pitch, those United players. And the manager, of course, Erik ten Hag. All the talk about the game and before the game about what his future holds and what it is for him to come. Whether he will be Manchester United manager next season and will they be in the market again for someone new. And reports suggesting that even a victory here today wouldn't have been enough for them, for Erik ten Hag to keep his place as Manchester United manager. But we will see in due course whether or not they will brutally sack the manager hours or days after winning the Emirates FA Cup. So, as it stands then, from after that, it means, as the way it goes with European qualification, of course, Man United will be in the Europa League next season. But crucially, Chelsea, who had a Europa League place, if City had won today, Chelsea would have had Europa League as well. And Newcastle would have had Conference League. With United finishing outside the top 6 and winning a trophy in the FA Cup, they will get Europa League football alongside Tottenham, who finished 5th, and the Conference League place will drop to Chelsea. So Newcastle get no European football despite finishing above Manchester United, but that's because Man United, of course, have won the FA Cup. So Champions League is, of course, Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool and Aston Villa. Europa League is Tottenham and Manchester United, and Conference League is Chelsea. For European football next season, Bruno Fernandes was a crucial player in that one for Manchester United. All of their players were crucial on the day for Manchester United. They fought to the very death. They gave their absolute all, minute after minute, and they delivered. They delivered. I mean, it's great that two of their best players this season for Manchester United, Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo, two of the massive stars of Manchester United's season, really delivered and secured this victory on the day for Manchester United. Got those wonderful goals. I mean, the quality of that second goal will be absolutely sensationally remembered for a long, long time because it was beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And we will see, of course, them lifting the trophy very shortly. And Bruno Fernandes, who's currently doing an interview, will be talking. We'll stop the talking. We'll walk that long walk up to the balcony in the Wembley stand, and we will see him aloft that trophy above his head. He said he wants to win trophies at this club. He wants to do that for this club, and he will stay as long as they want him and as long as they fight for trophies season in, season out. That is the desire, that is the work rate, that is the heart, that is the want of the Man United captain, and he will see if he can deliver that for future years to come, of course. And we will see them lift that trophy very shortly. Let's just recap the game then for you. Stats-wise, City dominated the possession, 74% of the ball, and had more shots than United on the day, 19 to Man United's 11 shots. Man United had more shots on target, crucially, than City, 4 shots on target to United's 5 on the afternoon. City missed one of their big chances, their only big chance of the game. Man United scored their 2 big chances of the game. That is the difference. The big moments, you need to be clinical, and you need to take your chances when they come. And Man United did that. City did not. And that's the difference on the day. City have been so crucial, so clinical, so fantastic in the final third of recent weeks. But their 35-game unbeaten run comes to an end in the finals. They walk those steps up to the balcony to pick up their runners-up medals. Manchester City, not often, actually not once under Pep Guardiola before this, have they gone up to that balcony without lifting a trophy. 8 times out of the previous 8 occasions before this game, Pep Guardiola had a 100% record in finals at Wembley. Not anymore. That, in their 9th attempt, comes to an end. As, of course, President of the FA, Prince William, the future King of England, and his son, Prince George, are there. Handing out the silver medals. So Jim Radcliffe there, of course, congratulating, or commiserating, the Manchester City manager, Pep Guardiola, and of course their players. Handshakes a custom at that balcony. There's Kevin De Bruyne, a couple of handshakes. Jeremy Doku following behind, shaking a couple of hands. Of course, Erling Haaland, Phil Foden, John Stones there. Scott Carson, who was on the bench today, lifting another medal. Not a winner's medal, but another medal. Didn't even play a minute in the FA Cup this season, but he will get a memorable medal to remember this occasion by. So the last player that will pick up a runners-up medal for City will be Ruben Dias. Rodri picks one up, and Matheus Nunes as well, who didn't come off the bench today. As well, all the players that were involved today will get a medal, whether they played a minute or not this season. As they pick all those medals up. Jack Grealish there, of course. Some big moments this season on the bench today. Didn't make an appearance on the afternoon. As they walk back down the other side, City, without a trophy to lift. Very rare occurrence here at Wembley for them. Not often that happens for Manchester City. They head to a final and not win it. Under Pep Guardiola, very rare. But today is one of those rare days. Manchester United felt this last season in the League Cup when they beat Newcastle here. But much more comfortable in that one than the FA Cup final. They were fantastic in the first half, Manchester United, and the damage was duly done to City in that first half. As they walk up those stairs, led by their manager for the moment, Erik ten Hag, and closely followed behind with the likes of Rafael Varane, who's played his last game now for Manchester United, leaving the club in the summer. And those hands outstretched for high fives as the victors head up those stairs towards the balcony to lift that trophy for the 13th time. Only Arsenal have won it more than Manchester United in their history. 14 wins for Arsenal, a record. City have lifted it quite a few times themselves as well. United 13 times. So Jim Radcliffe, of course, got a bit of ownership of Manchester United. Got a stake of the Man United ownership this season. And in his first season, they'll lift the trophy once again. One of those main players to get them to this point, Kobbie Mainoo, also obviously making his way up as Erik ten Hag's got to the bottom of the balcony, waiting his cue to head up to receive those winners' medals and to see that trophy, take it off the stand and lift it aloft in front of their fans. Over 30,000 Manchester United fans here this afternoon as Erik ten Hag leads his side up the stairs, out to the balcony as they enter with an applause from all those in attendance. Even more handshakes incoming. Shaking the hand of everybody up there is Erik ten Hag. As Prince William and puts the medal on the Man United manager as the trophy stands beside it as each one of his players will follow suit. Rafael Varane, followed by Martinez. Then comes Dallo and Amrabat as well. All walking across to chat with Sir Jim Radcliffe and the Glazer family there as well. In attendance today, Sir Alex Ferguson won't be too far away. He'll be watching on. A side who lifted quite a number of these trophies under Sir Alex Ferguson's managerialship. And he's now watching on once again as they lift it. They lifted it in 2016. Manchester United under Louis van Gaal against Crystal Palace. And this will be the next time. Kobbie Mainoo there receiving his medal. Altay Bayindir as well. There's the shot of Sir Alex Ferguson applauding the side as they've all made it onto the balcony. And it's now time for the trophy presentation. Bruno Fernandes at the back of the queue waiting for his medal. He's bunking the queue here, trying to get up a bit further to get his medal a bit quicker. As every Man United player will get a medal, of course. Luke Shaw here injured. Harry Maguire here as well. Casemiro not involved in the squad today, but he's been a big player in midfield for them all season, under his criticisms as well. And they're all awaiting that moment. There's Bruno Fernandes. He's made his way across. He's shaking the hand of everybody in there. He's not trying to miss anyone out. And it's the moment they've been waiting for. Bruno Fernandes lifts that trophy, grabs it off Prince William, and lofts it high. Manchester United, winners of the FA Cup once again. 13 times. Unlucky for some, but not for Manchester United. Erik ten Hag in back-to-back seasons has delivered cup glory, and the Red Devils will take another one back to Old Trafford. This history-laden club, this trophy-laden club, will have another one to put in the bank, another one to put in the trophy cabinet. Once again, as they all lift it, Rafael Varane lifts it high. His final game for Manchester United ends in victory. They'll all take their turns and they will celebrate long into the night. Manchester United are your 2024 FA Cup winners. Fantastic end to a pretty lacklustre and disappointing season league-wise for Manchester United, but a cup they will lift, and a cup they will surely not take for granted in lifting. Fantastic. A moment to savour and a moment to remember. They'll not forget this anytime soon. That's it from us here this afternoon. We are finally concluding a great afternoon. Another wonderful day at Wembley. And we've two more to come here on LFS before we finish our season. The Championship playoff final tomorrow, followed by the Champions League final next week, next Saturday. More trophy lifts to come here. But Manchester United have done it once again. They win the FA Cup for the 13th time. Congratulations to Manchester United, and goodbye.
Catch me if I fall.